Hey guys, it's Candice, Trinice, and Fee, and this is BGB. And today we are going to be talking about On My Block,
Season 2.
Season 2.
I was waiting for you to say your line.
I know I wasn't going to say it. I mean, I actually did think about it, but I was like, "Ugh, I don't feel like hearing them off again talking about is another favorite show. So that's the only reason why I didn't say it. But it is a pretty good show. It's a show that I'm actually considering letting my child watch.
Again? He's watching it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I keep forgetting that he watched it.
Yes.
But
I didn't know
only
he watched the whole
because,
thing.
only really considered it because he mentioned that his couple of his friends at school was talking about it. So
you want him to be a follower. Normally they tell you don't be like them.
Yeah, no.
You gonna
I
watch
just
the
wanted
show
him to
because
have some
John-
conversation, and being as though I watched it and it wasn't as I don't think it was as intense as first season.
You think
You think so?
You talking about season 2 not as intense as first season?
Yeah, like I mean, as far as like stuff that I was like, oh, should he watch that? Like I didn't feel like that, and it could be because his age has changed. Maybe that's it.
It's
Maybe
'cause
that's
his
He's
voice
a
is
man
deeper.
now. If he was a Jew, he would be a man.
I know somebody just had a bar mitzvah at my job.
Yeah, they do
At
that
the job?
when they turn 13.
I mean, well, you know, she took
I
off.
know,
She
you
took
was
off.
telling me about
Yeah,
it.
She took
yeah.
off,
Did she
and I
teach
was
you how
just
to
like,
speak Hebrew yet?
no, but I'm gonna talk to her about it sometime this week.
Oh, you could just talk to my mother. You know she's a black Jew.
But it was just so
They call them blues.
weird. It was just so wild to me because I mean, she literally could. She took off like I think about 4 days, and I didn't know that you could do that, which was really cool. So
They
I
give
am
you a lot
whatever.
actually.
So you can do
am-
whatever you want with your PTO if you got it, honey.
No, just religion wise,
Yeah.
y'all have to respect certain things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like
Like
know,
she was very what's the name about? She wasn't even sure if they were gonna give it to her at first, and she was like she's very surprised, and they did.
all you gotta do
I'm
is
glad
go to
they did.
HR.
I'm glad that they did, but they said it was lovely.
They even
It was lovely. They shell out a bunch of money for that.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
they
yeah.
shell out a lot of money. So
Yeah,
it's just like
I think
you
it's
see
very
buildings
interesting.
they built, especially that Jeanette and Harry.
I knees on the shit.
Do you know a
Okay,
lot of
so
buildings, honey?
I feel like back to On My Block because y'all know we always come in here.
I know,
to
but no,
talk
I
about
just
it.
wanted to, just throw another little conversation in there. That was it.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Because
Oh, okay.
I can do that sometimes,
Oh, excuse me.
Go ahead.
I
All
think
the time.
I'm always nervous about season 2 of any show
Oh.
because we have the first season, and if you really like that, it's like how do you keep your fan base like loyal to the show and introduce new things? Because a lot of people like that's not how it was last season, or y'all doing too much. And I think they struck that. It was a decent balance. I will say, the ending, I was a little like
Was stupid.
yeah, but again,
Girl, they played her on this whole last.
They sure did play
I
her.
thought that it would. I would have
Yeah,
been.
the
I thought
last
that
5
it would
minutes.
have been. Yeah, I thought that it would have been a lot more. But I mean, I wasn't like, oh man,
You
this
thought the show would have been a
sucky.
lot more. The
Or
ending
the
would have
ending.
been a lot more.
The ending.
Mhm.
I mean, it did make me a little mad at first because I was just like,
Exactly.
Like,
this is it.
No, turn around, no.
I was
I
like,
was watching TV
and then
with
I was,
myself.
I know,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
great.
Except for this episode, I mean, this time that's not how it was. When I watched it, I was like,
she was
"This
pissed.
is stupid."
She said that the whole time, and I was just like,
This is
okay.
so stupid.
I just was like, I gotta wait a whole nother freaking year.
That's the point. Like, no show that wants another season is gonna give us the resolution.
I know, I understand.
And we need to
I totally
understand that as
understand.
viewers and as
I'm
listeners.
okay with the year, but it just was like, where did this part come from?
Okay, well, let's
What?
talk about
okay. Yeah.
the show because
Yeah,
we
yeah,
always want
'cause
to
I
jump
was
to the
like that.
end.
Well,
we
you
get to
know
the
they
meat of
say,
it.
honey, right the end, so you can get the beginning. But go ahead.
Oh, you know what if they do that for like Grey's Anatomy or This Is Us?
Yeah, because you already know the end. You already know what you want the end result to be. So that's how you start.
You started.
I
That's
wonder
how they
if
said
what-
God started.
I just was about to ask if that's how Jose did it.
Jose.
Lord.
So you guys always want to ask about or always mad about the inside jokes. So the youngest today, we always talk about things that we believe in, which is the Lord. And today is Palm Sunday, so they handed out palms, and he said that they took their palms and said Jose, Jose instead of Hosanna. So the Lord will, from now and forever, be referred to as Jose.
I'm sorry. You mean when?
No, it's not heretofore. It's hereto after.
Well, heretofore he was
It's
referred to
before.
as Hosanna. now he will be
Jose.
Jose.
If you will.
I am so sorry, Lord. Go.
I'm so sorry, Lord. I apologize.
I just want to get it in.
God is
I don't
not
want him
pleased.
to, no, listen, because I don't want him to be right there in that book and you're like, what? Wait, what?
Jose.
On my
Jose.
Off
I
the
can't
list.
help you. You ex Jose.
Oh, remember that?
Oops.
Remember that?
A letter off the name. Sorry.
A letter off the name. Oh, that sucks if you got a short
Eraser.
name.
Oh, that would be horrible.
You got a pretty long name though, so you should be good.
Yes. Jeez, thank you, Lord.
You guys want to know something else horrible? We were talking
my
about
goodness.
something
We
the
all
other
have
day.
7-letter names.
Completion.
So
We were
21.
talking about something the other day, and Trudy said something about Palm Sunday, and I was like,
Oh my God!
Palm
I'm not
Sunday,
even gonna
and I was
talk
like,
about it because
God,
it was
I'm
it was
horrible.
completely
You
inappropriate.
are horrible. She is horrible. We were talking about how horrible you were the other day. Me
We
and
was
you.
talking about how horrible you were.
Me?
That's the beautiful
Yes.
conversation.
Yes, we were, because I told her about how I said something to you about when you dropped that little bit of mustard on you, and I was like, oh, did you get? And I was like, you know what? I have the worst. I don't even know what it is. It's just me.
Just so everybody
I'm
knows,
the worst.
this is Candace speaking, guys. Because
Yes, it's
I know some people
Candace.
said they can't tell our voices apart.
It's
so.
me.
Oh my God.
I'm a part
Like,
of BGB.
It's a type of it's a type of humor, but it's very.
She was a writer on Black Monday. She had to be.
Oh my God.
That's the type
it
of humor
is
she
very,
is.
Yeah, it's man, it's like I don't even know. It's
I-
very dark.
I can't describe it because I feel like sometimes we ride that line together a little. Like I could be that sort of way.
But sometimes
But I
you
think
jump
I'm
off.
more.
You jump off like
Well, I don't know because people be telling me I just
Oh,
can't
no, you
believe
do.
you.
No, you ain't no. She can't talk because. I'm sorry, you guys. We're gonna get to the show, but listen, because we were all in the conversation. Do you remember in the church? You probably don't even remember. And this little boy was coming over to her. Trinae. She was like, don't hug me. Stopped him right there in his tracks, and then asked him a question. Was like, oh, okay, now you can go away.
That's not a joke though. We're talking about joking.
I think she's just saying just you in general. That's you. You're a
I'm
horrible
just
person.
real is what she said. Now all I heard from that is real nigga realness. That's all I heard.
Whatever.
But so sometimes
Do you
like
like
because we joke together and it'd be it's hilarious. If you guys
yeah,
have the
it can
privilege of us joking around you, take full advantage because it's amazing. You do have to have some intellect though, because we do get a little.
Yeah, you do.
You know,
you
we
do.
do.
I just be dropping. I'll just be like, ugh, get out of this conversation.
Like the other day, we literally were laughing and joking about adding more words to our vocabulary, like that sort of stuff. And I live for these moments because we all know inside. This is Trinice. Inside, I am a nerd, and I'm very proud of it. But it's just like it's becoming cool now, and it's cool to have people that can joke on a sort of similar level. So that's fun. Now, Candace, again, certain times I'm just like, oof. Sis.
I'm like that person that just pushes it a little bit too much, like
all the time.
like that Palm
and she
Sunday
knows.
joke. I was like, I stopped myself before I said it.
But then
this
I
is
was
the
like,
thing.
what were you about
She
to say?
pushes me forward.
No, because she
was
made
like,
that
"No,
face.
tell
She was like, ugh. Like
So
once
you
you do
knew.
that, it's
You
like,
knew.
what
Yeah.
is it? Because you already thought it. So
But
So go ahead
any
and
other
say it.
person
So
would be
that's
like,
what she trying
no, don't do it. Don't say it.
Don't
But she's
do
like,
it.
no, tell me what you thinking. And I'm like, I was like, it's Palm Sunday.
But then
she still said it. Exactly. She still said it. So, well, I'm sorry. You
Because it was
listeners don't know, but you
hilarious.
viewers can see what she was just doing.
Oh God.
Yeah. It
I mean, the
was.
way I'm saying it, you guys should know what kind of Sunday it was.
Oh.
Palm Sunday.
Well, she's also helping with her sound effects over there.
I'm just praying for us.
You should constantly be praying for me.
Just
and I
because
said
your
that
name,
before.
her name in the book now is Felicia. You ought to worry about it.
God,
Get
no,
this A out of
Lord.
here. Anyway, back to the show. So
What an
this
opening
season-
that was.
I know. This season, I feel like, to me, it moved in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just different parts that I just had never.
It's a little more mature, more grown up.
Yes, way more mature.
Wow, they
'Cause
are.
They are.
It's only like
Ooh,
a
you
year
know,
though, right?
She is.
Because were they 14 when we started? They were
Not
going
Monse
into high
the
school.
virgin anymore.
They were going to high school.
And
yes.
now they only
She
15.
already wasn't a virgin.
Right,
That's where the whole
remember?
beef started in the beginning of season 1.
Yeah.
Right.
but they weren't supposed to tell anybody.
Yeah.
Speaking of, she need to learn to keep her hands to herself because as soon as Caesar turn around and smack her, it's gonna be a problem.
Oh, right, that pushing.
She
a
pushed
lot of
him
women
twice.
do that.
And you know what?
I'm
I'm here for it.
You got one more.
It's
It's
like
funny because she got the
stiff
force, but it's nothing in front of her. It's like she literally is pushing a brick wall right now. You actually got one more. You see, it's the wall.
You remember? Sorry, this is off the track again. Do you remember when I was doing that drama skit for my
Yes, when I had to
production?
record it.
And I was acting
Oh
like
my god.
she was acting like she was beating me, right?
Yeah,
And I swear I could have got an Oscar, honey.
she could have. She was tossing herself around that kitchen. I actually thought I was beating her, and all I had was the camera. I said,
She's just
"Well,"
like, "Are you okay?"
I was like, "You are committing to this." My God. So,
Oh god.
if Caesar ever turns around and gives Monse anything, like if he,
What's she gonna do?
she gonna be pissed.
No, she probably fight him back.
She probably would.
She
I
might.
don't know. You think she a fighter?
She probably was so appalled.
She would be. I've been pushing
I
you
think
all these
she will
seasons, and
fight
you
him
finally
back.
gonna put your hands on me.
I think she will fight him back.
She might. Yeah.
Because she
still
even
got that
stepped the
tomboy in
spooky
her.
before, so it's just like she don't.
She don't care when she get to that point.
Right.
She just go for
But
it.
I just like to say that if she gets beat on,
Oh, here we go.
Here she go.
I don't have a problem
This
with
right
it.
here. This it. This it. She about to cross that line.
That is a Candace.
It's not a line that's crossed by me. Actually, it's a line that's crossed by females who think that they should just hit men and have no
Oh God, I just don't even want to talk about this.
consequences.
I don't even want to talk about this.
But no, I just think that that's something that we do need to teach women because we are teaching young men like you. Well, you should be teaching young men, but apparently, I don't know if y'all saw, but it was this video and I saw it on Twitter, and the girl was basically telling her boyfriend this joke like, I don't want to be with you. Like she was like fake breaking up with him, and it was a prank, and she was like, I don't want to be with you no more. And like so in the video,
Oh, were
you
they
don't.
in the car?
No, they were on a bed, and you don't see her. You just see him like sitting on the end, and he like, what? And she was like, I just don't want to do this no more. And he proceeds to lean over and beat the crap out of her. I mean, like, he is. See, she laughing. See,
That's horrible.
but like he was beating her so bad, and I'm just watching like just trout mouth because
That's why you
Did
can't
they
play with
show-
everybody.
Did they show
And so-
him beating her?
like you don't see it. You see him leaning over. You see him punching something. You can't
Oh,
see her.
okay.
And so he punching, and she like, it was a joke.
Oh
And
my God.
I was like, and so then he finishes beating her, puts his slides on, and he like, don't play with me like that. And I was like,
What?
you just beat the mess out of this girl, and that's all. Like,
Was
but
it a ending to that? I mean,
he left, and she was beat up.
oh my God.
That's the
This
end.
is horrible.
Hopefully, she probably did actually leave him now.
Well, that's what they said.
That's
They
a
said
good way to figure out.
they did say
who
they
you
said,
with.
well, sis, you have your answer. You need to definitely leave him now. I'm gonna show y'all. But yeah, like with that, we are supposed to be teaching young men not to put their hands on women, but we also don't teach women not to put their hands on men because the thing
Yeah, and
is
see, that is the type of woman beating that I don't believe in.
that
So
stop
yeah, so let's make
saying
it clear that you don't believe in
No,
it.
that's what I keep telling her. The way that she's saying
It's
it,
the way you're
is
saying it.
that
It's making
problem.
it appear that you do.
You know what?
That is the type she said that she doesn't believe in.
Yes, I don't believe in that type. You know, when you started it, you know. But if a woman hits you first and she thinks like, oh, well, he can't hit me back. We're all humans. We want equal rights. You're going to get equal fists to the face.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just saying.
Let's get out of here.
Everybody
Please,
keep your
let's get
hands
off
off
these
of
out.
everybody.
I agree. Keep your
Keep
hands off each other. Learn
If
to
y'all
communicate.
heard nothing else, hear
Actually,
that.
bleep everything else out
your-
and hear
yes.
that.
No, I said what I said.
Oh my God! Keep your hands, everyone.
Lanithia.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Oh,
That's what I tell my
God,
boys.
don't
Keep their
compare me to
hands.
her. I hate
Keep
her
that.
now.
Keep my hands.
I mean, I don't
keep your
like her
hands to
anymore.
yourself.
That's what you
because
tell them? Because I was telling them if a girl hit him to wrap her up or push her.
well, first of all, they had a discussion the other day about that,
Did I say
and I want to say that my middle child said, "No, you don't put your hands on a girl. It does not matter." And the youngest said, "If she hit me, I'm going to hit her
Exactly.
back."
that?
And
Oh,
I
you see which
said-
one Candace has gotten to.
And I was like, "Oh, in this world, baby, I wanted to tell you that, but I can't as a black
If
man.
she is
Especially
as a black
whipping
man.
his
I can't tell
on
him
the
that though."
courtyard,
On the courtyard.
is he just supposed to take that beating on that black
No,
top?
that's why I said he should wrap her up, like stop her from hitting you.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
and
yeah.
push her.
Yeah.
That way you create a distance and you can get away.
You know what? And you would
but you
think
gotta
that
run
you
backwards
could do
because you
that,
never turn your back on somebody
But
that's
you
beating
saw
you up.
how that woman killed that man on 911.
I did see that, but they did try to come help him. He wanted to keep acting like he ain't need no help.
Acting like
I'm
a whore.
fine.
If he would have been slapped her,
Now
she
he
wouldn't
a
be doing it
Oh
anymore.
my God. We are done. We are done with this.
We are cutting
on to the next.
Cut.
So with Ruby was very different this season because he now has PTSD.
Poor Ruby.
And you know what? I was just thinking about it. We don't like people because I was watching this other show and the guy came back from war and so certain things triggered him and it's like, oh, you have PTSD, whatever. But I don't think people need to diagnose more kids from the hood with PTSD.
Oh, definitely.
Because they have it.
Definitely. Especially if you're hearing
Not just kids from
gunshots,
the hoods, yeah.
people running up on you. I mean, yeah, I was going to say it could just be anybody.
Yeah.
Like that comes from so many different aspects of life. And I think that we limit it by saying because people don't really discuss it in other areas. But it's so broad that it needs to be talked about.
And I think when it comes to just that, like outside of the career aspect as far as like military or things like that, we just call it a trigger. When it's deeper than that many times. It's much deeper than just a trigger. It's like a certain smell or a certain this can make somebody feel this way. Like people eating certain things can bring them back to a certain like
Remember with that Law and Order?
Yes,
that Law and Order. I'm sorry you guys, listen. I got problems sometimes. So I just got over that sound that what is it?
You just said you got over it, so why would you tell her to do it? What is it? Trigger me now. Do it now.
Because it doesn't bother me as much. Like before, when I would hear that theme music starting to come on.
Was that or was that The Simpsons?
No, listen. You get on my nerves. But when I used to hear, the theme music great come on, whatever. I would be running to the remote. You get on my nerves. I would literally be running to the remote, and Derek would be laughing at me so hard, like.
But it was serious for you though.
It was so serious for me. Like it would make my whole, like everything would lock up, and I would cringe at the sound.
Wow.
My God, you got lockjaw?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really,
From
really bad.
SVU?
It was really bad because that sound reminded me of something in my past.
No, honey.
Yeah, I think
So
traumas are really.
Yeah.
You can get it from anything. You can get it from car accidents.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
People
Oh
like,
my goodness. Yes.
Don't drive like that. I got an accident before.
Yeah.
I'm like, get in the back seat.
Is that?
But it's so real.
That is so shocking. Well, yeah, because I know when I got into the accident in the rain, it took me a while to get comfortable driving in the rain again because it's just like those feelings coming back. And
I can't stand the rain.
Against my car window. So it does take a while to process that. And with Ruby going through being shot,
Right.
almost dying, also losing his not really cousin girlfriend.
Yeah,
potentially, because I think after that party, I think she really
Olivia.
was gonna like him.
I did
And
too.
then-
She was starting to fall for him.
Yeah, because he's
Olivia.
just so considerate.
Rest in peace, girl.
Yeah, rest in peace, Olivia.
And you know what? You just never know how something affects you until it affects you. Because, and I know what you mean. I know what you're thinking right now. Like, if it's affecting you, then you know how it affects you. But you really don't.
I was just saying, I hope she just gives me more from my just more.
Right.
We want
like,
more.
Details.
he knew that it was an issue that he was a part of that traumatic situation. But hearing that music, what was it, New Year's Eve when they were
The
like
fireworks.
all of that, it put him back in that moment. It's like, oh, you know what? This is actually affecting me.
And he thought, and it was wild because he thought that he was good because he was making this big speech about how good he was and he's just glad to be alive and everything. And then suddenly, like, you guys did some good writing in that scene, that whole little episode, because I was caught off guard, and I'm not normally caught off guard. But
caught off guard all season.
No,
Well,
exactly.
which was really shocking. But even you said it. You was like, "What? You didn't catch that?
That's
It's
how I knew you been
unbelievable."
slipping.
But yeah, like he was having that big speech and everything, and then he went immediately, like, and that just shows how quickly it can switch for you. Like, soon as that sound came up, like he went from this high, down to that low, and then how they let him leave out.
Yeah, nobody was paying
Nobody
attention.
paid any
That
attention.
was, I think that's what was so important to me with that whole scene. Like, in addition to him feeling like he's okay because he hasn't faced it again, because it's like, all right, now that you were in this situation, his parents are doing more to make sure, to our best ability, we can make sure, because they was like, Caesar's not welcome here.
Right.
He can't come back. We're not going to bring that back into your environment because we see what happened. So they're trying to protect him from what they believe is the problem.
Right.
When it's already a different problem now, like the fear that's there, the anxiety. And so when he's giving his speech, he hasn't faced any of those triggers yet. And so when it happened just instantly, and just think about how common like loud noise is, how common a party environment is. Like the song, all of that stuff is a trigger for him, and people aren't that aware of the details because they didn't go through it. So,
but in the song, everyone was aware when the song
Very
played.
quickly.
Everyone was aware
at the party,
of it.
yeah.
But if you notice, it was all of the kids that were there that noticed it.
Yeah.
So they all remember experiencing that moment with him.
Yes.
At home, it was more so like, oh, we all around family. You know, Caesar wasn't there.
Yeah, so it should be fine.
And then his friends immediately was like, oh, we gotta do this. We gotta get him out of this.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Jazmin.
I love me some Jazmin.
Oh, Ruby, baby.
She is my favorite character, you guys.
I say she has developed from season 1 to season 2.
She
Is your favorite?
She is
She
my
was annoying.
favorite.
Jamal is my favorite.
Jamal.
He is hilarious in
I
his
can't remember
brainiac
who
way.
I said was
I
my
love
favorite
it.
last season.
Ruby is still my favorite.
Oh.
I'm Ruby Jamal. Like Ruby's on top, but Jamal is definitely a close. Very
Ruby
close
would
second.
definitely probably be my
said Caesar
second.
was my favorite last season because
You just that's just shit.
You love a gangster. You love a bad boy.
we won't speak on that.
Okay.
I like Abuela. Also.
Who?
Abuela. Abuela.
Herpes.
When she said,
Abuela.
"You still got the herpes," I was playing that back over and over and over again because it was hilarious. And then that whole "don't hamal me," that whole scene, I played that like 3 times back to back to back because it was just so funny to me.
We
But
are all over the place, guys.
we are. I like how back to Ruby, and then we can go into Jazmin clearly.
Sorry.
So with that, he went through a lot. Like we saw him go through anger. He went through
He went
denial.
through all the stages.
Yeah, he literally went through every one. And when he was angry, I was
It was
like,
spooky.
"Ooh." Yeah, when he was going off on Spooky this season, I said, "Oh, he don't have nothing to lose."
But I think
he said, "I got
Spooky-
shot." So
I think Spooky had that understanding of where he was at because he's been there. So I think it was almost like he was his, I don't want to say angel because clearly no he's not, but guardian during that time. You know what I'm saying?
Don't
to
be
kind of
spooky
help
like
him
that.
through the
I love
transition
Spooky.
because he really does have a
too.
good heart. I think that Spooky really does have the heart of what that particular gang was supposed to be. But
Little Ricky.
Little Ricky.
you want to say your whole
No, I mean I just said
but I think he really does have the spirit of what it was supposed to be like. But of course he's not in charge.
He
of
just
things.
got to do what he got to do.
Yeah. So
But they also gave him more depth to me as a character.
yes,
because it was like
he didn't seem so harsh. and-
Yeah, but on one hand
Well,
he didn't because
you
when he
saw
sure
he
could care
didn't.
less about Caesar at the beginning when he was like, "Get out, I don't care." He treated him
But
like
I
a
think-
stray dog.
But I think that was more to save him. Like when I looked at it,
Yeah.
I didn't look at it like he didn't love him. I looked at it like he's doing it because he loved him. So it was almost like if I don't do this, they gonna hurt you on the back end. Like somebody might I'm protecting you because if they see that I'm being soft on you to get back at me, or to get at you, they'll do something to me. So I kind of looked at it like it was a defense mechanism.
So we all remember, and if you got some new listeners, our old listeners should already know that she was a Gambino, so she knows about the gang life. So she's speaking from personal experience.
Yeah, I know.
But they say that you should the people close to you should be the people that hurt you because they understand they have your best interest. So if a parent hurts a child, it's for a purpose, it's for a point. It's not just like
Oh my goodness, I got a little more over here too.
it's not just because they don't care. It's a teaching more so than just a
Like I beat you
punishment.
because I love you.
Yes, that whole situation.
Exactly.
But with that, you still hurt. But it's like,
Exactly.
okay, I'll beat you because I love you. Because if I don't beat you, the streets will kill you.
Exactly.
So that, and I get it, and that's basically
It's
what I
true.
think Spooky is operating in. Where I have to be tough on you because guess what? If the other gang find out this is how you are and this is how you act, then you did.
Exactly.
And
For you to realize that this gang life ain't for you.
he knew that. Season 1 was
Yes,
about
he
them not trying to
always-
get him in the gang. Spooky was the one forcing him in it. So
it
he
was
was tripping.
family though.
But I don't think that he was forcing. See, and that's
He
what I
was.
mean. Like, I
He
don't
was
think
forcing protection on him.
Yeah.
But
That's
he
what I'm saying.
knew.
Like, it was the reasoning behind it. You know what I'm saying? So.
But that protection just comes that lifestyle though.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. Spooky. You know I can't kill anybody. Spooky.
Not a killer.
But no, I like that they use Spooky to be the person that helps Ruby through. Because and it was weird to me because Ruby's brother was back this season, and I would think that his brother would be able to do it, but
But
He
you
was
gotta
in his
see
own
what
dealing
he
with his
was-
devils.
white ones.
Yeah, that's true. But you have to see the shelter like that he came from, so he don't understand from this perspective. Now, although Ruby only got shot, you know, just because he was, well, I always keep calling him Coogie. His name's Latrell because Latrell was at the wrong place.
Caesar was at the wrong place. He should have been gone.
No, Latrell shouldn't have been there. They were all friends enjoying that Kinsek. So they should have been there.
Where he started.
I know. This is why somebody's been saying for years,
No
never
loose
have a loose end.
Yeah, I
They did
said.
say it.
That's what I say. That's my line.
Tie
a
your
kill
shoes, kill them niggas.
Right.
All
Finish,
of
I'm
it.
just saying, finish what you start because otherwise it's gonna come back on you. And
That
we
is
see
true.
that's evidence.
And normally at the worst time.
Yes.
Yes. 'Cause
And that
Ruby
was
lost
clearly the
love of
roast.
His teenage life.
I
Yes.
still gotta say the roast, the worst.
The
roast.
it was the roast.
Somebody definitely got roasted, toasted, and
That's too much. See,
so,
too much.
Y'all already know what I said. But yeah, so I don't even remember his name. What's his name? What's Ruby's brother's name? Because he's so
Ruby's brother.
not important.
Right. Ruby's brother.
Yeah.
That's
so,
Brandy's brother.
No.
Straight from the east side.
I think that's always horrible when you get that name, like you don't have an identity. Like I was just telling her, like how the kids be like, oh, I want to go, to so and so mom's house. Like,
Oh yeah, that's
they
your
have a
identifier.
name, right?
Oh yeah.
It's depending on the relationship.
Yeah, sometimes I'm sure Solange has actually made a name for herself, but you know
Yes.
she used to be Beyonce's sister.
Yeah,
Right,
and
right.
little sister. When they had that specifically say where you are, this is worse.
But anywho, so yes, Ruby's brother, he don't know about that lifestyle. He out living a privileged life, doing whatever he want to do, and then coming home loving gang parties.
Yeah, he was. He was loving it. He was happy that Ruby was injured and in with the gang.
Injured.
I'm just saying he was. He was like, oh yeah, but this is fun. Ruby. I'm like,
So he got whipped on by that girl. Now, if
He
he
did
would have
hook
smacked
up.
that girl back, then she slapped him first.
Well,
But
he
you
would've
know
been
what
tore
they
up. He
say:
couldn't
a
fight
slap
her.
in the face keeps a person in their place.
They do say that. But I think that one moment that they had, they were like in the bed together, Ruby and his brother.
oh
And he
yes, that
saying,
was
like,
nice.
you know,
Yeah.
how brave Ruby was, how much he respected him, and how great, like, and I was just like, oh,
And he was saying how he wished he was there more for him.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I just like, this is so
I
amazing.
think brothers always need that moment. When I saw that, I was like, I hope my kids have that moment. Not that particular moment,
Right,
for
just
that
the
particular reason,
feeling.
but a moment like that. Because
Yeah.
I'm always, because as a parent, you always are like, oh my God, we all stop fighting. We all stop fussing. We all just understand that y'all brothers, all y'all gonna have if something happens. And to see that moment, I was like, oh, it gave me hope, honestly. Honestly, you guys, on my block, you gave me hope.
Jenny.
It's beautiful.
I think that this season we see Ruby getting so much of the love and attention that he needs.
Yeah.
Last season we saw him, annoying people.
Yeah.
He's
Trying to
keeps
find
getting pushed
himself.
around from room to room.
Man, disrespected for his height.
Yeah, like
And,
they don't respect
honey.
him.
Yeah.
I know.
But he gained street love. He
Yeah.
gained, friend love. And I honestly thought him and Jazmin was going to be together for a little second.
Yeah, especially when they did that dance sequence.
Yeah,
They
but
effed it up,
I was
though.
okay
I just
with it.
always
because he
saw
really
her
likes
with. I always see them
Jamal.
at as no. I didn't see them like they were going to date, but I thought that like because I think that she's crossed that sister line already. You know what
She's
I'm saying?
like a Monse
So,
now.
yeah. So it's like
Well,
that
you
girl
see
that you
what
keep in your
Monse
life when
did.
you a dude that you be like, oh, that's my best friend. Like that, I'm always gonna rock with that person.
Oh, so you believe men and women can be just friends?
I do believe that sometimes. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do believe that. I believe that the two have to be mature enough though, and have an understanding and a balance of it. But I think it can happen. It can happen. It's possible. I've had a friend that's been my friend all my life.
You had?
Hey, past tense.
I haven't seen him in a while. That's all.
It's been a long while. But anyway,
Gotta make sure I talk to somebody about this.
she go.
He
with
knows,
the
honey,
receipts.
because he was at the wedding.
But I like that they built a brotherhood, even though we saw the demise of another one. So I feel like we have Ruby and his brother trying to bond. Actually, I felt we had more Ruby and Spooky.
Yes,
When
that's
I felt
what
it should have been Spooky and Caesar, because when Spooky came over and was like, get out of the bed, and they went like out to the market and all that stuff, and Ruby was basically like laying into him, like screaming and all of that, and he didn't react like at all.
And that's what I'm saying about, I feel like that he did that because he was like, I've lived this life, and I know which way this could take you, because when you injure like that, or you take a life or anything in that aspect, your mind changes. And I feel like he was, because he couldn't be there for his brother like he wanted to, he was going to do the closest thing to being there for his brother, which was to be there for his brother's friend. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
so.
And I feel like that gave him more of a humanity that a lot of times when it comes to seeing gangsters, and I say gangsters in the sense that they are in a gang, to see gangsters, it's like they don't care about anything.
Right.
But we see Spooky basically being like, I care enough about this boy to stop whatever my day is, to go to his house, to get him out of bed, to throw a party just to get him in the better spirits, to let him vent to me and to say things that he can't say to anybody else. So it was just a lot that I felt good about.
I was looking at her making some strong eye contact, but you were actually talking, so it was kind of weird.
Oh, okay. It's okay.
I just wasn't sure what was happening, because, she was giving signs and stuff. I just needed it.
So, as a parent, because we see Ruby's parents trying to navigate that.
Yes.
With, the mother is clearly becoming more concerned about him and how he's developing or continuing to grow.
I was going to say, she kind of was really lenient, honestly, because he was out partying late and stuff. I don't know if it was because he was with his brother.
She
probably
cut
felt
him
bad.
off when he stopped going to church.
Oh, yeah, she
honey.
did. Oh, yeah.
But she
Honey.
understood, which I love too.
They had I think the talk they had was necessary.
It was a good balance. Because I do think, although I feel that you should not stop going to church, I do feel like when your child is in that particular predicament, I think you need to give them some room in that aspect to understand, like walking in their shoes of how he was feeling. And then on the back end, of course, I'd be travailing towards the Lord and fasting and praying, honey. Like,
I'm not
Lord.
laughing at her. I'm laughing at her
Passing
dramatics. Passing out? She do that? She's taking it up.
But in the same time, I would still let them know, I want you to be in church. I don't want you to. I would always remind them of who God is and what God is capable of, and if He's done it before, He'll do it again. Hey, that was type of thing.
Going in.
But I'm just saying.
What is that song? They was just singing it today. It was about he's gonna do it. Cause
I've seen him do it.
My God.
Hallelujah.
I thought she was doing the church clap.
Girl, I was gone today. Let me tell y'all something.
Today was nice.
Today,
until he brought.
the
Oh my
Holy
Lord!
Ghost,
You don't have to destroy
I'm
your
sorry. Today, the Holy Ghost, y'all, was in our church today, honey. I sweat through everything. I was going in for the Lord. So Lord, when you say give me your all,
give her A bag, Lord. She Felicia again.
I gave you my all, Lord. Today was good.
Oh right,
but
that's
yeah.
me. JK Lord. But
we are made in His image.
That is true. That's what I tell people all the time. But like I think it's difficult, even being anybody in that situation, a believer or whoever. When somebody's going through something, it's certain things that you can't. There's nothing you can say to take away.
You can't force it on them.
Yeah, and I think when you do that, it makes them not respect. It brings more of a wedge between.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things in life that you have to figure out with God and you by yourself.
That's right.
And people are not going to be able to.
And when you try to force too much of God on people, they be like, oh, so God is real? Wait, what's God?
Yeah,
oh
my God.
it starts becoming like what it ends up becoming
when I couldn't grow.
Yeah, it's a debate. And you don't ever want to
grow.
debate God's word. At the end of the day, I'm not up for the debate. But like I said, you always do still, I just always still bring them up. You know what I'm saying? I never lose sight of the end goal, and the end goal is to get them to return. So it's not like I'm just leaving them out there like, oh, just go be you. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying let them be them, go out and just do whatever willy nilly stuff. But just
willy-nilly stuff. She's so country.
but you have to give people room to understand their growth process.
Yeah, because everybody's walk is different.
It is.
Yeah.
We just went to church showing y'all for a little bit.
Yeah, clearly, yes. But I think his mother, I think the approach was different. I think the father was more waiting to see where he was wanted, and the mother was more trying to step in and see, like, fix problems before they arose. So I think, like you were saying, she was more lenient, because I would think as a parent that just had your child shot, you're not going nowhere. You're not leaving this house. You need to let me know where you are. But I think her understanding, if I suffocate him, he's going to sneak to do these things.
And I think, didn't she make mention that she wasn't always a goody two shoes either? I think she did it for a brief moment, a very brief moment, when she was talking to him. And I think that may have given her a better understanding too of his emotional state. Because I think a lot of times that's what we don't consider. We consider the physical because that's what we can see, but you don't consider how they're thinking and things like that. So I think she took all that in consideration.
Yeah, and people can change internally before you ever even notice.
Yep.
So, like, that's important, especially, like, at this age and with this sort of stimuli. It's just, it doesn't take much. But I think she's talked to him throughout this journey. I've seen them literally just have those moments. And in that moment when her and the dad went into the room, which was hilarious. Because she was still talking. But
just because she said, Ruby, your father wants to talk to
yes.
you. I like personally when he put her out the room.
Yeah.
And all he said was, "What your mother said."
Yeah, it was.
But it needed to be said, because sometimes a child needs to hear it from their dad, even though he ain't saying much or nothing. But it's just their presence.
Be overreacting so
and
much,
be
doing so
overbearing
much.
at times.
We
Y'all
do.
just say the
We
same
do.
things.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Like,
Yep. And I'll probably be that same exact way.
Probably.
But
exactly.
You are. You're doing it now. You do it now.
But guess what? You all respect it, and you do it yourselves.
Who said that? Just playing. We respect it. I respect it.
I'll be like, the first thing that they'll be saying, which I hate. You know what Felicia said?
Who said that?
Who said that? You can always bring stuff back out
all the time.
So
honey.
it's okay. It's okay. I ain't mad.
We do say that to each other. I hate when I'm telling her stuff. I'm like, okay, we're not disrespecting, but we know we call you Felicia. We know when talking to each other
because we grown. Only when we talking to each other. Clearly.
Yes.
But. Yeah, Ruby's been through a lot. I like that they have, I think Candace brought it up earlier when she was saying, like, the friends were aware and they went out to support him. I think that's important, too, to know, especially, like, when somebody's close to you, when they go through something, be more sensitive to those things that trigger them and those things that affect them because they need more support in that moment. So,
and what's so good, I know, but what's so good.
You don't care. You don't even have to say just keep going.
No, because I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget because what's so good is even in that moment that Ruby, they were attending to Ruby, Monse had a breakdown.
Yeah.
Also, about Olivia because
that's when she started whipping on Caesar.
Yeah, she did.
Because
the first offense.
I was gonna say that was the first time, honey, because it happened several times. But it showed also that it didn't just affect Ruby. Yeah. I mean, if Ruby had the physical and the emotional, but their friends also had emotional parts too. But they just happened to point out her because that was the only other girlfriend that was there. So
and then we can now move on because we talked about Ruby for hours.
Yes.
We can talk about Monse, and in that moment, Monse, who's actually been talking to her birth mother, which was a secret to her birth mother, whose name was Selena. And Selena asked her to come and live with her.
Yeah.
And Monse was like, no, I'm not having it. I got to stay here. I got to hold my friends down because I'm the only one that hold it down.
Yeah.
So she said that she wasn't leaving. Then when that whole breakdown with Ruby happened, she was like, I gotta go.
Right.
And
she
Caesar
didn't
was
want to
right
miss
there.
out on something and
They played
regrets.
the
She didn't want to have any
song.
regrets.
That song almost just brought little teardrops to my eyes. But Caesar was like, okay, it's fine. We can leave now. And she was like, no, I have to go. I have to leave.
And get my hair pressed out.
and get my hair pressed
Yes.
out because she did.
She definitely did.
She did.
She moved on up.
When in Rome, honey.
That hair was long, baby.
Somebody been saying that all weekend.
So Caesar, yes, I have. So Caesar told her, if you leave, we're done.
Ultimatum.
And then that's when
Don't
she
do it,
started
guys.
beating
Don't
on
do
her.
it. Don't do it.
That's when she started being a
That is
defibrillator
right.
and giving him chest
Defibrillator.
because he definitely was shocked.
She got that one. That is funny. Y'all need to write that down. Let me not say that. I sound like my father. That is funny. She called this girl a defibrillator. Oh my God. Oh, my Grace fans, y'all respected that. Oh my God.
Yeah, so she ended up, they broke up, and she
They
went,
were on a
They
break.
did not break up. They,
They
were on a break. It's
break.
very different. Ask Ross and Rachel.
Yeah, they were on a break.
On a
honey.
break.
I don't know.
Because they.
I
she
feel
said
like
they
she
weren't-
broke up too. I feel like she broke up too, but she feel like they were on a break.
Exactly.
Did she write the
But-
3-page letter?
Well,
I just want to know.
she's the one that left. So he gave the ultimatum,
Uh-huh.
but she didn't officially respond.
But this
so
is the
therefore,
thing.
I'm just saying on a technicality basis.
No, on
she
the
didn't-
technicality,
she
they
didn't
broke
give him
up.
She didn't give him a
He
response.
said, if you leave, we're done. She left. So they were done.
But he was still texting her though.
Because he cared. That don't mean nothing. Like, we done. So
I just saw this tweet, or I saw this thread, and somebody was like, this girl was like, oh my gosh, this guy's like, can I take you out? And she was like, I don't want to date right now. I'm just not ready. And he was like, that's fine. I can respect that. And she was like, yeah, it's just a lot going on. And he was like, yeah, I respect whatever. And she was like, are you serious? You just gonna let me leave like that? You know what? That's exactly what I thought I was gonna waste my time, and this is a waste of time, so I don't want to be with you. And I was just like,
girl,
who
you
is
waste your
psycho
time.
like
Either you
this?
want to go or you don't.
Who's
Goodbye.
psycho like
Playing
this?
games.
So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, people do play games like that, where it's
Uh-huh.
like they want you to prove how much you care about them. And I think on both ends, Caesar's giving an ultimatum because that's what he wants, and
Right.
Monse is basically like, I'm leaving, and I want you to care enough about me to wait while I'm gone.
Yeah.
So
'Cause it's something
they
I had
both
to do.
wrong.
Yeah.
I think Caesar's more upfront because he's communicating that.
Mhm.
Where Monse is gone, and basically when she came back, she acted like nothing ever happened. And I'm like, you left Like, you
Because
left.
she thinking in her mind, I had to leave because she didn't want to have that regret of not
All
spending
she
that
got was
time
a
with her
slap in
mom.
the face from
She got a
Selena.
MacBook.
I mean,
She
at
got a
first she
MacBook.
was on a good track. They were doing good, but her mom was making saying things about her dad.
Yeah. Lying.
Yeah, definitely lying. To her friends because she basically didn't really want to say why she left Monse.
Yeah, she just didn't want to be like, look, I didn't want to be a mom, and I wanted my
Yeah,
my
she
life
should
was
have
more
just been
important,
real about that.
and I wanted to
But
leave.
that's
But
not
Monse
even
said,
what-
I was gonna
yeah.
say, Monse said they were saying basically because she wasn't
Because she was black.
Caucasian.
Because
Caucasian. Y'all know that's what it is.
Vroom.
Caucasian.
Call on road.
You knocked your hair out.
That's what you get. See,
Car.
that's what you get. That's what you get.
Say car on
On
road. Car on the road.
Go ahead.
But yes, because so Monse asked her, she was like, so I mean, you were ready to be a mom when you had your other children.
Mhm.
And so she was like, so why didn't you just tell them the truth? You left because I didn't look like what you wanted me to look like. And so she was like, oh, Monse. Don't say that, Monse. But she never denied that was the truth.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I do know.
But her dad knew.
Yeah, but
he was
the
like,
thing is,
wait, you want to know what Monse? Wait till you get to know her. Go ahead out there since you want to be a fool. Call her a fool.
but yeah, I think with that, I respect parents that let you find out. I think that's going back to what we was talking about, like the pain that somebody lets you go through.
Yeah.
Because if you have a parent that's telling you, then it's like you poisoning me against them. Because honestly, that moment, that's what you knew about them.
Right.
Now, over time, they could have developed
They
and
could have
changed.
changed.
But that was factual at that time.
Yeah.
So when you give your child the opportunity to go meet their deadbeat, you want to be with your deadbeat person, whoever it is, mother, father, whoever, when you give them the opportunity, they now develop a relationship and have a judgment for themselves. They have an experience of their own. So they can't resent you for saying, I never had it because you said.
Right.
So
I
when
like that he did try to tell her without telling her
without-
because that would
Yeah.
really hurt, and she wouldn't have believed him. I
Oh
don't
no,
think.
she wouldn't have believed it, and then she would have she would have rebelled against him
Yes.
to prove the point. And then when she found out that her mother's how he said, she wouldn't have came back to him because she would have felt
Like he
embarrassed.
just gonna say, "I told you so."
Exactly. So I think that's why certain times it's best to say, "You go find out." And when she found out, when she came back, her father was loving and supporting her. But again, I think if the situation was different, where he actually said, your mother's trash because she did this, she would have run off. And we know that's Monse's character. Like, she has to go and prove herself. She's gonna show you, I got it, I can do it.
Right.
Fast.
So yeah, fast. How do y'all feel about her and Caesar's relationship this season? Because I think we back in the same predicament where her keep trying to take all the money that none of them but Jamal worked for and save
His
Caesar.
name is Jamal.
Don't Jamal me. Like,
I think that Monse is too bossy. She wants to be in control of everything. She wants to do whatever she wants to do without having the consequences of it. Because, I think that,
And it could be because she feels like she practically raised herself.
and that's
so
fine,
a lot of that
but
comes
she didn't
from
raise
that.
nobody else. We know exactly what it is because at the end she said, I'm the one that's always
holding this group together.
Exactly.
Blah, blah, blah.
And that's not true because
It's not
Jamal
He definitely.
and Ruby do a lot of work for that group.
Yes, they do.
We see her based off of her choices that she wants. She is the one who says, I want to do this and I want to do that. But she don't really be problem solving.
Or I want to do this for Caesar.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know if I want to call it selfishness because it's really not selfish because she's caring about someone else, but it's only almost like to benefit them.
It's still for her.
Their core, right? Yeah. So it's really weird actually because you know how I feel about it. I feel like she's too young anyway for any of this. Honestly,
they are adults.
But you're right. Well, they're
he
not
out finding money.
But I'm sorry. When you're a POC, you got to grow up quicker. You don't have the luxury of a childhood as long as.
Because when I relate back my life and I look at my children's life, like I'm just saying, like okay, like at 6 years old, I was already at the stove cooking eggs and bacon.
Oh my gosh, my grandma
like
always telling people, I've been washing dishes since I was 4. Girl, get a dishwasher.
But yeah, I'm just saying. So, but when I look at my children now, and I'm looking at, they don't know how to do those things. Well, one of them, because because of the way that I grew up, I make sure that even though they don't have to do it, that they are doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want them to leave the house and not be able to take care of themselves.
Right.
Or something happens and they like,
right.
Well, mom's not here.
They
what we
have
gonna do?
The ability, but it's not a necessity.
It's not a necessity. Yeah, so that's the difference.
That's
like
true.
I just feel like with that core group, their lifestyle because of where they are, Freeland,
I believe.
That's what they always, because they always saying. I don't know why. I don't know now. Sorry, you guys. But they always saying it, and because of where they are. It's like this is the life that they have to live. So they have to grow up so much more quicker because they're home by themselves. Like they would probably definitely latchkey kids at 5.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Monse be in that house by herself
all the time. And I'm just like, she talking about my dad gonna be gone for weeks. Is he a truck driver?
Yeah. I said that. Yeah, I think
he has to be gone for weeks and stuff like that.
He is,
but because he needs that money.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he had said he had 2 jobs though, because
I don't need this. My dad has 2 jobs.
And then he was saying how he's trying to send her to the all-girls school. He was like, I saved up, I got it.
Yep.
So that's another thing, because once that situation happened, and it's so crazy because when the shooting happened, any parent would want to be closer to their child to protect them. He had to be farther away to try to create a permanent protection.
Yeah.
And it's just like, God, it seems like it's counterintuitive. You're working against yourself to say, I'm scared for my child's safety. I'm going to go out here and spend more time away from them, not see them even more, be hoping that but I know that this is temporary. And once I get what I need for them with the protection, it's going to be permanent.
Right.
So it's just like, I think a lot about like parents that's in that situation, because it's a different stress when you have to do certain things where it's not easy, or like I personally don't think that is easy for any parent that has to go back to work early. Like I think maternity leave, paternity leave, when it's that time, like especially when you're bonding with your kid, it's like, I have to go back to work because I gotta provide. But if you had the option to spend like, let's say that first year or whatever to bond with your child, people would take that. Yeah. Most people. Some people are workers, so whatever. But if you have
Get
the
this
option,
baby out of here. I gotta go back to work.
Hurry up! I've been in here for 2 hours. Get me out of here.
Hand me my pop. I gotta get these documents out by 3.
But it's really difficult because like I want to say it was a true story. I was watching a show or whatever, and parents, in this day and age, you have to work, especially if you're a single parent. It's like you have to work. There is no ifs, ands, buts about
You
it.
gotta work, period.
And
a parent, a
yeah,
child.
yeah. And it's crazy because, parents have to leave their children home at younger ages now.
Yeah.
And as a parent, you're always thinking like, oh God, please just don't let nothing happen to them while they're there.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I don't want to be there. It's not like, I can't protect them, but I have to do this in order for us to survive, to live. And unfortunately, something had happened to the woman's child while she was away. And they had to go to the hospital. And immediately, they come down on you there because they like, why are the children there by themselves? And she coming in there hysterical, like, oh my God, are my children okay?
Right.
I had to leave them.
Yeah.
Like my job can only afford me enough to take care of us. It can't afford me enough to take care of us and childcare.
That's true. Yeah.
Let's be real. Like childcare alone is like 2 weeks a check. So it's crazy. And I just felt so bad for her because I was just looking like, oh my God, like it's nothing honestly that she could do. And I'm quite sure that her dad, Monse's dad, feels that like I don't want to be out here, but I gotta trust that what I've taught her during the time that I was here, being as though her mother had left, that she'll do. And she was doing some of it, but of course, but as being a growing teenager, she started fiddling and daddling and some things.
I don't even know what that is supposed to mean.
I'm just saying,
oh my God,
doing things that she wasn't normally doing, but she was also honestly being a lot safer than what she could have been.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at stuff like that, I do look at it like it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times we have to consider like when we're coming down on our children and there's certain things that they're doing. I know. Don't cross the arms.
Tia Tamara.
I'm just saying.
Continue.
I just look at it and I examine it, but it also depends on the person, the maturity level, and what I expect.
Well, I always get the short end of the stick, so that's what
So, but it just depends on who they are and their mold, basically. And, that's all I'm saying. Because I'm not going to start because they're going to be all up at me like,
can't
oh,
wait to roll the tapes. But yeah, Lavelle Crawford has this hilarious stand-up. I know I talk about it a lot, but it's hilarious. And he was saying in this one part how he was like, black kids couldn't afford to go missing. He's like, you go missing, they call the police, and your mother come out and be like, you got 3 seconds to come out these woods, because I know I called your name, I know you know your name. And he was like, you got the cops down here, firefighters, you got me out here looking like an unfit mother. I don't know how much none of this costs. And I'm just like, that's so crazy because or they don't even have the time to be concerned.
Yeah,
it's more about how is this gonna make me look, trying to do my best. Like he's like, I don't have the time to take off to be down here. I'm gonna lose this job, like that sort of stuff. And I just think back to because when I was younger, I never understood like why my mother was like, call me when y'all get in, call me when y'all get in, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm in. Like I get in at the same time every day. And so like when I would call her, I would just be like, she's like, y'all in? Yes, we're in. Doing homework.
Right.
We're eating.
Right.
Everything's fine. Goodbye. And I didn't understand why this 5 minutes was so important. And now that I'm older and I'm getting to it, it's like, you know what? To be at work and she can't get off. So if something happens, if we don't get there, she don't know if we missing. It's like, oh.
It's stressful as
it
heck.
is. And then it's 2 children. It's not just one.
Right.
So it was a whole different thing. And then Trey was just a whole different ball game. So I understand her being concerned about that. And then it's certain things that I'm glad that I learned. But I'm sure if she had the option to teach me at a later age, she would have preferred that. Because like I had to catch the bus at 8 with my sister, who's only 4.5 years younger than me.
Right.
So I have to be an 8-year-old paying attention, knowing what stop to get off of, doing all of this, and maintaining somebody that don't listen to anything.
Yep.
So it was just a lot. And fortunately, God clearly was with us because everybody did not survive that, and ain't nobody call the people on us. And that's why I appreciate it so much. And whatever I could help her do, I would step up and help do because I knew what our situation was. And it's just like looking at Monse and her dad, like you see her stepping up to do certain things too. Like, my father has to work, so I'm going to maintain this. So I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I've never seen her have issues in school.
Right.
So she's not trying to bring additional problems. And even when she went with her mother, it's like, you know what? I'm going to go with my mother because it'll be a weight off of you for a while.
Right.
So, yes, it was a personal thing for her, but she also was doing it in a way to consider her father at the same time.
Was she?
I think so.
when she left her father and went to go live with her mother.
Yeah.
That was all a selfish thing.
Really, I think at some point she was just like, you know what, you have done this so much. Let me give you a break so that you can, you know.
I think ultimately
was
get
to
to know her and see her, like, because if it was up to her father, she would have never had anything to do with her mother, help or not. Like, first of all, those truck people make a lot. They make buku money.
Yeah, they do.
I thought about doing it for
overnights
myself,
and stuff
but
like that.
that's not This is not for me.
Yeah, nighttime driving is so hard for me.
It is.
God.
Girl, they be driving forever. What you
Yeah,
just mean nighttime driving?
saying-
It be all the time driving.
I'm saying that at night it's worse, and half the time they have to drive like overnight and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So I could drive in the day, but like nighttime,
But yeah, I
Highway
think
hypnosis
that
is
a
real.
lot of her decisions come from her, and maybe because so many decisions were not her decisions. Then it's just like, oh, I'm making this decision for me right now at this time.
Yeah.
So she feels like that, but I feel like a lot of times she makes selfish decisions.
I just think that I can see both sides to that.
I think
decision.
I think that it did help him. I think that it helped as far as when he on the road, he don't have to be concerned.
Every night. Yeah, like he's worried.
Like she's there. What is she doing now?
Right, because even
that
when
type
she
of
left,
thing.
when she left the car open for Caesar,
I think it was like an unknown spoken thing.
Yeah,
if that makes
because
sense.
it's like, okay,
But I feel like his concern was she's going to come back hurt, and she did.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but what I'm
So-
saying is, in that time where he doesn't have to worry every day about somebody breaking in their house or somebody
Right.
a stray bullet or a gang member just rolling up on her as a young developing woman, I think that stuff gave him more of a peace of mind where it's like, yeah, she's gonna be hurt, but she's gonna be alive.
Because we
Like-
see him say when he was talking about boarding schools for her.
Yeah.
We see him say once he found out that somebody rolled up on her.
Yeah,
That's what made him
that's
bring
what-
up the
mhm.
point of the boarding school. You know, saying like, "Oh, I didn't know that had happened."
And you
Because
gotta
if
go.
I had known that had happened, oh, none of this
Yeah.
would be even. You would have
But-
stayed because I think he said you would have stayed where you was at. Maybe he would have took care of what he wants to do now a
Yeah.
lot quicker. So I just think that in that span of time, yeah, though he did not want her to be with her mother.
Mhm.
I think that the best side of it was I got a peace of mind that she's okay.
Yes.
You know,
She's
that's
physically
all.
okay.
Physically,
yeah,
but
fine,
not.
I don't
But
think
yeah.
that
And
her
that's what
making
I'm
that
saying.
decision was it had nothing to do with him. Her making that decision.
Oh no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I just see the balance
am.
of the
I'm
parenthood.
saying
Yeah,
that.
she's saying that.
I am saying that, but we can talk about Jazmin. That's who's your favorite character?
Jazmin.
I think
She's come alive this
first season
season.
she was just more like annoying in the way, getting on my nerves. And this season she really stepped up as like a support,
Yeah.
as like an additional friend.
They gave her some
and
foundation.
They
some
really
substance.
did. Like it was so much. And I think when we found out like she's working with the police station,
the academy.
the academy, yes. And it was something else. Oh, when we went saw Ruby go to her house and she was dealing with her dad.
Her dad, yes.
And I was just like,
Yes.
wow.
That was
Yes.
crazy.
Like, yeah, it was just so much more to her character. And I love that they did that because it's so many people like you see. And normally, like they say, check on your strong friends or the people that make you laugh the most have the darkest past, blah, blah, blah. But we see her go home and still maintain this sort of joy and happiness, even in a situation that looks like, oh my God, how are you dealing with
Right,
this?
right.
And that's probably the reason why she talks so much outside
Yeah.
of the home, because she does not have someone who can. Well, first of all, she probably does all the. I don't know if it's anybody else in the house, but definitely with her father, she does all of the talking, and she doesn't get any
Reciprocation.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I don't know if he can like move his eyes to like, I'm excited or like
Okay.
whatever. But her father's a paraplegic, I would say.
Yeah.
So he can't talk. He can't move. Can't do anything.
Yeah.
And she's there taking care of him from what we can see in that moment from that scene.
Yeah.
So to live with something like that and to have to carry all of that on, then I think when you get to be around children and when you get to be around your peers, it is your opportunity to be your most peer-like self.
Yeah.
Because she has to be an adult. So many other, in her job, she's a freaking police officer, all right.
It's true.
So,
And she know all the gossip, honey.
Yes, she does. She know all about it. And then knowing that she's going through that and then her still going out her way to help Ruby like that, that's just beautiful to me because like you really don't know what it takes for somebody to come outside of themselves to help, or to just do that little thing. Like, to us, it's like, oh my gosh, she over here getting on his nerves, but like literally, she's taking time away from her life to help you when she's already going home to help somebody else,
Right.
and to come to you who can actually say thank you, and you're just treating her like.
I was going to say,
here.
and I think not that she's definitely, I don't think that she's looking for the gratitude, but it's something else that when you get to help someone and they can reciprocate it back, you know, and let her know that it's working. Because, you know, with her dad, only thing that she can base everything off is what she once knew about him. It's nothing of new.
Right.
So I think she was like doing a little skit or something like that for him and stuff like that. And that's what she probably used to do for him. So she's like, oh, this is what he likes.
It's made him happy,
Yeah. So, but with Ruby, you know, she can do certain things with him and she can get like, you like this boy? You know, that type of thing. And he'll let her know like, yay, nay.
Validation.
But, yeah. That's the word.
But you know, I think a lot of some of her help probably comes, some of her desire to help comes from, you know how people they do certain things so people will never have to feel how they feel. Like even like with her helping Ruby to find a date for the that little spring dance or whatever. I feel like some of that comes from, you know what, I see the best in you and I want you to have something really great to pair up with that. Or even with her trying to be a friend with Monse, we see that toward the end. And it's like, you know what, I think that you could use a good girlfriend. I know you lost the one that you did have at the time, but don't forget that there's other people out here that can fulfill that for you.
Yeah.
It's just, she's, just her development has been amazing. And it just feels good to see the good in somebody. And everything that she's done is with like that positive intent.
And I like the fact that they're showing that even though we don't really know what she really wants the real outcome to be within these relationships, except for just a friend, or she wants it to be more. But I like the fact that they are showing that she's giving and they're giving a little bit too. So like with Ruby, you know, saying, you know, I don't want to go with none of these people. I want to take you to the dance. So I thought that was really good. And even her and Monse, I want to say, had a moment of
that was at the
connection.
House, right? I think.
I can't remember. I just remember that I know that they had some type of moment.
And she was helping them with their bunny money.
Yes.
But that's what I wanted to say. Because at one point, Ruby was treating her like she was getting on his nerves. Like, get away.
All last season.
And also this season. And then he had a realization where he was like, wow, I need to appreciate her.
Yeah.
Somebody
it's like, don't burn your bridges.
Though.
Yeah, he was checked. I can't remember who it was.
It was one, I want to say it was like either Monse or Jamal. And it was like, well, but that's how you treat Jazmin.
Yeah.
So.
And once they checked him, he went and he paid attention.
It was Jamal.
Jamal. He paid attention. And from then on, I saw him make a conscious decision, like, to change that. And I respected that. And that's part of, you know, unfortunately, I think that he's grown up a lot faster because of what he's been through. But it was literally
he
like...
was shot, guys.
It was like, let me fix it.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow's never promised.
Yep.
And I just got to get it right now and appreciate her now because what if I had the opportunity to treat Olivia better? You know, and the people think that way a lot. But this person is here. This person is somebody that I can appreciate. And now I'm treating them bad. Let me treat them better because you just never know.
And these type of situations do give you a more appreciation of life. And sometimes, unfortunately, those things have to happen too because sometimes... Excuse me, guys. Sometimes we won't change our minds about things that we ought to be grown out of until things happen. So,
yeah, that's so true.
But I guess we could talk about the ending before we end.
Yeah.
So, whoever wants to,
oh my
Candace,
gosh,
you like to be the
go
spoiler
ahead.
alert. You want to say?
Ahead.
Did we talk about Jamal?
Oh, what about him? What you want to talk about?
That he just is amazing. He was putting people in their place this season.
Yeah,
because
bees be bonkers.
He's the one that actually be helping out and saving people.
He did.
He's very considerate.
True.
He's very thoughtful. Even when he bought those backpacks for Caesar.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was very sweet.
All these options. I just love him. I love how this show is making it okay to be considerate and smart.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say because he is super, super smart. Like some of the facts that he just be throwing out there, I be like, oh my God, like
he pays such attention to detail as well.
He kind of reminds me of you a lot. Like just throwing facts. I'm like, why do you even know that? Like, it's crazy. Like, how many books do you read? Like, but it's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing, though. It's kind
of weird. He does have relationships with
gnomes.
Gnomes.
Yeah.
And he specifically
but
has
he picked that up
with
a
big
gnome
butt. Lady.
Yeah, she is. She's thick.
She is.
But he
she
picked
be
it up
posted
from
up
that,
just like this, y'all.
He picked it up from
She's
that
a
other
gnome.
guy.
She doesn't move.
Exactly.
She be posted up just like this, yo.
On
She
that
did.
pole.
Oh, that's her pose. Her pose is with her butt out and with her hand on her hip.
With them red underwear.
She got her-
And they had to trade her. They had to trade her though. That whole deal with him and what's his name? I can't never remember the guy
I be
name.
calling Know Me Homie.
Oh, no, me, homie.
That's what I
Okay,
was
we'll call
calling
him
him.
that. But the deal between that he made, like, let me have her. And he like, what? You didn't treat her right when you had her. And I just was like,
It's
oh
unknown.
my
He
God.
has good relationships with everybody. He
Yeah.
helped out
Yes.
Caesar.
Mhm.
He also
Oh, he really
um,
helped
Him and
Caesar.
Caesar this season.
Yes.
Because
he
I was
really
like,
helped
first
him.
season, I was like, why are they friends? Because I don't
Mhm.
think they really like each other.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like, okay.
At first, he didn't appreciate it. Caesar didn't.
Yeah. And then it's just like, oh, you are such a great person. I love you so much.
Yeah.
And it's great, but it's just like, he was just so excited to be like, one, I'm helping you not die. And two, I have this relationship that I've been desiring.
Yeah.
And when
Because
they
he really
separated
wanted
the
brother.
bedroom and the master bedroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hilarious. He has a wonderful relationship with Abuela.
Yes, they are great.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I just think that Jamal is very, very,
He's
very
needed.
underappreciated.
He's needed in this community of friends. I will say that.
Yeah.
Like all of them actually are needed. Like now that I'm watching the show, like I think if one of them was missing, I would feel like a missing link. Like because all of them play a vital part in
It adds
their
something different.
yeah in their little
Um,
community.
Oh, did you see when he walked in on his parents?
Oh,
I was hollering.
Traumatized.
was so
I'm
funny.
just so glad that my oldest of course would no, but my youngest
Please.
just true story, like, he just walked in. I said, and I yelled, and I said, did not tell you to knock on the door. You don't come in. You knock.
We
And
just
you
told him
wait
that
to
today.
get
Door locked.
permission.
Exactly. Why was it the door locked? Y'all tripping.
Because we never had to lock the door. You
You
know what I'm
have
saying?
They
three
probably
children.
like that through.
Yeah. They can come in at any time.
But, I just was like, now you got to start all over.
I've read a
scratch.
meme before they said that sneaking away from the kids' sex is the best kind. So
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
really. Oh, I didn't want to know. Not from you. God.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Did you say yo?
No, I said I'm just letting you know.
Oh.
Don't let me know nothing.
But yeah, because then he was talking about how he wanted to set up his fortress or whatever. And he was like, my parents will have a room. It'll be soundproof,
Yes.
obviously. And that was just so funny.
And he still yet was including
everybody.
everyone.
He even like, because Monse gets on his nerves. And he says it all the
Yes.
time. And he
Yes.
was like,
Yes, he said he would be
she go-
all the way
she gonna
down.
have first it was like she was gonna have so much light so she can write. It's gonna be the complete opposite side of. And I was like, respect. Know what you can take and what you can't.
Yeah.
And
But
he always working at that
yeah,
that joint.
yeah.
He told
which is
that
father
girl, and I
owns.
was screaming. He said, "We serve the only belly we serve around here is pork."
Yeah.
She had her stomach out. I was like, "Oh my god!"
And he's very, very serious. What I do, he has commitment to
Yeah.
the things that he does. He is a good
Yes,
person
'cause
to
even
follow
when he
through.
left work to go check on Ruby, and
Yeah.
Spooky already got there and took him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's very dedicated. I
Yeah.
think that he's the glue to this. I think
Think he's
Monse
the glue.
thinks that she
He
is,
is, but it's
it
really
is
him.
Jamal.
I think I might could agree with you with that. He is because he brought this group back together. Even though he wasn't, he was
That is
missing in
true.
that most vital moment. But what he was doing helped
That is true.
the whole situation and
If they
in the
would have
latter
just
end.
believed in him, none of them would have been there.
Yeah, but well, it is.
That's true, dude.
Yeah, it's true, dude.
So at the end, we have actually it was a little plot twist. And
Oh, that
no,
was
the
the
good
one.
one.
Okay.
So we see Caesar go back to Spooky and basically like plead like I have nowhere to go. Well, I'm sorry, Caesar tries to kill Latrell.
Again.
But the gun jams, and I was like, oh my god,
Again.
So at
because he
first-
ain't no killer.
At first, I thought he
That
didn't
would
have
have
a
just
bullet.
made everything worse because when you kill somebody, they gotta
They
kill
gotta come
somebody,
back,
then they
yeah.
gotta kill somebody.
Yeah.
It just
they all
never
gotta kill
ends.
somebody.
Yeah.
And so he had to run,
God.
and then at I want to say what the 9th episode is when they had like the opening scene. It was a target.
Yes.
So they end with somebody aiming to kill Caesar, and then it comes up with the target. So we don't know if he was shot or not. And I'm sorry, spoiler alert. And so then once we go through the episode, they just keep not telling us, and then he just finally appears. And we see him like pleading with Spooky, like, please, like, let me back in, help me. I need the protection. And Spooky's like, I can't do nothing for you. Like, you just making this worse and worse and worse on everybody around
remember,
you. You are becoming a plague. And
plague.
And so then from there we see Caesar goes to the rival gang with the money.
Well, before we see that, we see them giving him the group giving him the clean money.
Oh yes.
Them sitting down, him saying his goodbyes to them, and them deciding we'll meet at the bus stop the next morning.
Yeah.
Them giving him the clean money because they want him to run. At this point, they figure, because everybody know, because he just ran through the whole gang.
Yes, he has.
He ran through their streets, running through their houses and stuff like that. Because, like you said, he had missed. I mean, well, he didn't miss, but the gun didn't go off. So I was just like, oh my God, he right there in the middle of everything. I was like, is he crazy?
Oh my God.
I said, they just jumping out everywhere. They just coming. So, but he was gone. He was running. So we see him at the bus stop, and we see him saying his goodbyes and everything. And then we see him, because Monse ends up coming, and she wants to go with him, which I knew that she was going to try to do, because she, in the previous one, she had said goodbye to her father, and it was like a different kind of goodbye.
What I was saying to her.
It was definitely a different kind of goodbye.
Forever.
Yeah. So, so when he is supposed to get on the bus, we see that he really doesn't get on the bus, and of course, right away, this is what I'm talking about, where they got me, y'all, because normally I'm not slipping like that, but I totally fell, honey. I was on my back. Oh my God, it was just ridiculous. So, so we see that he did not get on the bus, and he goes back to their territory. So now you can go from there.
Yes, she filled in the middle. And he goes to the rival gang with the money that he got from Jamal. And he's like, I'm just saying, I just want to buy protection for my friends. And he was like, what? So then he gave them the money. And then he was like, well, that covers your protection. I mean, it covers their protection. What about you? And then basically he just started saying, like, I know.
Oh, up, nigga.
He's like,
get down or lay down. We shoot up anything.
Oh, my.
Except the playground.
Bars.
Birdman.
So then,
Go ahead.
So then, we see they basically are telling him, he gives up more information. So he's like, this is our connect. This is what we do. This is what the Santos do. Blah blah blah.
He's being a snitch, guys. A snitch, and I, of
so
course,
disgusting.
I was very disgusted. I was
you wasn't
so
even down here when she was like, "What? What? Oh my God, Ceasar, I can't. You know what? You didn't ruin everything." And then when Spooky showed up, she was like, "And your brother was coming to save you." I can't believe this. I cannot believe this.
Because one thing really I do not like is a snitch. I was.
You guys, I already told you.
Y'all do know.
She was a Gambino,
so then we see them take all of the money and take all of the info from Caesar, and they basically put him in a room like, you just trash because you just snitched on your family. Like, we can't even respect you.
What was it? That wasn't even like a room though. Because
it was
like,
it was one of them. It was a kill room.
I think it was a shed.
It might have been a shed,
but it was padded all over.
They had the bags down, so when I splatter you,
easy clean up.
So he was basically telling him like, you worse than what we thought. Right. You giving up your this your gang member. You giving them up, and they open the door, and he was basically like, we gonna turn you over to them because they gonna handle you better. So then in walks Spooky, and him. He acts so
disgusted.
Yeah, he was disgusted. He punched him.
Sorry,
actually.
We missed another piece of background. So Spooky is coming to. He comes with a bag of money. The bag of money is the roller world money that Jamal and Ruby gave Spooky
in attempts to buy Jamal back. Caesar back into
the gang.
Yes.
Because they figured that was the only other way that he could be protected.
Him with protection would be to pay for him to get back.
So to get back in the gang, and I was just like,
she was like, what?
It's just like they just making mistakes all around here.
So then we see Spooky comes in, he punches Caesar, they leave out. Then we get a rewind. And we see that at the one scene when Caesar was begging Spooky for help, they actually came up with a plan. And the plan was to switch the money and to give the rival gang Mark
switch the money. The money that they switched, the Santos, they stole money. It was from a bank. And it was all marked bills. And they switched out the marked bills with the Roller World money. And gave clean. The Roller World money that is now clean through Bunny Money or Money Bunny.
Yeah.
And they gave the bank money to the prophets with a dollar sign, not an S.
Not the S. And so they both went in. So when Caesar gave the money, that was the marked bills. And when Spooky came to give more money, it was also the marked bills, because they were saying, how can we give them all this money to get it away from us? With them, actually believing it. And so they came up with this whole scheme. And so once it was over, it was like, y'all gonna handle Caesar. The prophet's like, they gonna handle Caesar. We don't gotta worry about him.
Right.
And y'all paid us, so we
right.
good
And
now.
they thought they were good because they figured we now know where y'all territory is, where y'all keep y'all money at. So we got it. So they thought they won all the way around.
Yeah.
When technically,
and then Jazmin came with the facts, and she was like, all of these profits going down because every time they spend money, it's marked bills, and they traced it back to all of them. So all of them basically were arrested, Latrell included.
And that senior prophet was all like, "Oh, today is a good day," and I was like, "Ice cube, please."
And so at the end, we see, basically, I thought it resolved very well. Like, I was like, this makes me feel good. Like, Caesar now can live his regular life. He's not officially in the gang anymore. Spooky understands that he is not about that life. The prophets are off their back because they letting them handle it. Ruby is getting through his PTSD. Jamal is being appreciated. His brother Caesar can stay with him. Monse is back. And then she came with the news that she actually wanted to go away and go to the boarding school, which was an all-girls school, because we see her go through this process of being like, Olivia's my first and only girlfriend. Do I want more girlfriends?
Right.
Like, because I've been with these guys all the time. Maybe I need that at this point in my life, because when she went with her mother, she had more homegirls. And she was so different.
And it's so crazy that you said it, because when I was watching, when they had given the money and they were getting locked up and things like that, all I could think in my mind, of course, because I kind of live this life, all I could think in my mind was, it's going to come back on them, because on the Santos, is that what they call? Okay, it's gonna come back on them, because of course they gonna be like, we got the money from them, so this was a setup. So
but they can't say that though.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying,
they know
within them,
in
they
the
know.
World,
But they got all of them, so
they got people outside. I'm sure. It's
sure
different chapters.
I'm not sure if they got all of them. They probably got all of the higher up people.
Yeah.
But it's always that little man that want to come up.
But they got those people were lined up around.
Yeah. I'm quite sure they got quite a few of them.
But when you get a group like that in the masses,
but when they get out, they still going.
Yeah, I mean, that's down the line. Nobody's really thinking about, and this is a federal crime at this point, because it's from a bank. All of those bills were marked, and they've been tracing it ever since. Because I remember when Spooky spent that money at the store. Remember? And he was like, "Oh wow, somebody did that," and I was like, "Y'all niggas did that."
Yeah.
But my point is, when a large group like that is gone, I mean, they took so many of them. So
I think it's a hole for a moment. I just think that it's a hole for a moment. I mean,
they back out.
They probably already been waiting to get them on so many things.
Definitely.
So it's just like, it's not just about to be that. But my whole point is for all of them to be gone so much. It's not so much that they could do to the people that still have that whole other gang.
Yeah,
definitely not.
Right,
just
right now. But we're saying in the future, this is going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
And then, so far gone by
so we see them. They all arrested, and then like I said, it seems like everything has resolved itself. And Monse is telling the boys, and they don't believe her, because it's like,
she always go, because she always leaves.
But she comes back.
They call her a runner, and I call her a runner. She's a runner, and they referred her to her mother.
Yeah, and so then she turns her back, because she's like, I'm tired of y'all disrespecting me. I'm actually doing this, and I'm not coming back, and y'all need to understand that. And when she turns her back, all of the boys get kidnapped, and they get put. Was it a white van?
Yes,
white vans. I knew it. Get put into the white van, and she's basically telling herself, like, I'm not gonna turn around and look at their faces. I'm just gonna keep going forward. And then she eventually ends up turning around. And when she does, they're not there, and then she gets kidnapped. So I didn't like that ending, because who's kidnapping them? Right. I don't know I don't know where this is coming from. Why? And of course they want us to have a cliffhanger for season 3. You got a prediction? Predictions?
It is some lower ranked members. Just remember that you heard it here first.
Okay. We'll remember.
Because I mean, at this point, and it very well could be the Santos also, but not for the reasons that we're thinking. So I mean, it's quite a few things. Let me ponder on it for a moment.
Jamal did steal that money from Roller World.
That's what I'm saying.
Told him that.
That is true.
Yeah. So, it always comes back. But I really enjoy. I will say I enjoyed the this season so far. I was
So
very
far,
over.
upset.
It's over.
I mean, I'm just saying, I really was upset about the ending because I thought it was just gonna be just a little bit more, but
She was like,
but
are they doing this to me? I gotta wait a whole nother
but it's okay. They left me with
You always
enough
have to
that I
do it.
felt like I'm not gonna be missing too much, so I feel pretty good about it. Like I don't mind waiting. So, it's a good show. I love it. I am here for it. We all about the writers. So writers, keep on doing a good job. And if you need somebody, call us. I say this every episode. I'm just waiting for the email, you know. So, but listen, guys, let us know how you all feel about this show. All of y'all should have a lot of comments. Go back and listen to some of our previous shows on the first season and get caught up. Why it's only 2 seasons. Get caught up before it gets all the way up there, and then you be trying to straight binge watch. And I mean, it's the show comes on Netflix.
Yeah, so it's all out at once.
Yes, so you can just sit and watch
30
it.
minutes.
I was going to say it runs for from 27 to 30 minutes, so it's not that long. Because she kept on emphasizing like, you ain't finished yet. It's only 27 minutes, So it's only 10 episodes for each season. So just take the time out and watch it, okay? And then email us at blackgirlbroadcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on social media on Instagram at blackgirl.broadcast_BGB, on Twitter at BLKGRL Broadcast, and on Facebook by searching Black Girl Broadcast.
And you can hear many episodes like this one on your favorite podcast site. Just search for BGB Black Girl Broadcast, and do not forget that the day after the podcast airs, you can find us on YouTube, and you can see all of the fun things that we're doing. You can celebrate Jose and Palm Sunday, all of those type of things. You can visually see them and how we interact with each other.
And until the next time,
I think I just want to say, like, y'all don't burn bridges, because honestly, you never know who that person will be that can help you to get out of something.
check on your strong friend. I feel like that's something that should be said, considering Ruby and also Monse. Everybody had something they were going through, so just check on your strong friends.
I just want to say hood niggas got heart too. Shout out to Spooky. Rest in peace, Nipsey.
Oh, Nipsey. All right.
Bye.
Peace.